Hello everyone and welcome to Chaos Theory episode number 5. We've got a huge main event in store for you here tonight between the Elite and the Hurt Business. But before we get too deep into that, why don't we introduce you here into Edge and Christian as they cut off a beautiful promo. Now this just doesn't seem fair. This is a 5-on-2 assault. Jericho introducing his 5th member here. But Randy Orton's coming out. Why is Randy coming out here? If you've seen any of the Golden Glory tournament, you would know Randy Orton and Christian didn't really get along too well. As Randy Orton had some anger problems, I guess you could say. But he come out here full-blown kendo stick swinging. And we'll just have to see what he does out here tonight as Christian lows Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara go straight after him. As Randy Orton hits Jake Hager with that kendo stick, I think it was twice, and then hits him with an RKO. And we see a double spear spot. Well, this is definitely heating up in the wakes of Addicted to Carnage. Maybe Randy will team up with Edge and Christian, who knows? But we'll have to get ready for our next contest. Hey you guys, I hope you guys like the little sneak peek into the next episode of Chaos Theory. And sorry, this is just kind of like a little quick edit. So now we're getting into the actual review. Hello everyone, Derek Stam Toys, and we are back with a action figure review. After working very hard on the pick fed, I'm happy to say that I have a couple of figures I can review. And today, you're seeing the first out of 3 that I got. This one is, the first out of 2 eBay purchases. And I got this fairly cheap. As you can see, it's pretty beat up. I bought it that way off eBay. A lot of people were selling this figure loose for like 17-ish, maybe like 18-ish dollars with all the accessories. Some not all the accessories, like the championship was missing. And mock, it was going for like anywhere between like $20 to $26. I saw this. It was like listed at, I think, 16, maybe 17 something. But it was all beat up and it had, or best offer. I just said, shoot it, what the hell. I said, let me get this for $13. With tax, it came up to like $14.20. Dude accepted it. So I got this for $14. So the beat up packaging doesn't bother me. Hopefully it doesn't end up like my John Silver, where it was damaged packaging and the figure is also somehow damaged as well. As if you don't know, my John Silver has a little bit of a rattle on the inside of the torso. And you can't really torso crack them figures and put them back together, so I'm forced to deal with that forever. But it's whatever. I think I've rambled enough. Why don't we get this figure out of its plastic case? You know, I do really love the red packaging on the Target exclusives, though. Maybe if I can manage to save it, I'll save it even though it's a little beat up. Now that we've got the Sammy Guevara Target exclusive out of its plastic prison, we will go over all the accessories real quick, as he doesn't really have too many. It's definitely a good amount though. We've got a pair of sunglasses which feel a little weird. I don't know, like I feel like I can't get too good of a grip on them unless I just hold them like this. They just feel different. I don't know if it's a different kind of plastic mold they use, but that's definitely interesting. Of course, as per usual, we've got an AEW microphone. We've got a set of fist hands, a set of like open hands, and just one mic holding hand, which is fine by me. Kind of wish we had two, but it's whatever. And then of course, we've got the beautiful black strapped TNT Championship, which, just to kind of bust it out real quick, as I kind of grabbed it just for this purpose. This is the red straps. For the longest time, this is the only version of the TNT title that I've had. And it's definitely a beautiful title. And it definitely doesn't really look like they've changed much. If anything, I think maybe like the middle plate is a bit more shiny. I don't know, that could also just be me. But overall, all the accessories are pretty good. Now, I might want to pause it real quick so we can get some hands on Samuel Guevara here, but yeah, I think the accessories definitely pass for me. Just wish there was a extra mic holding hand. Now that we got hands back on the Sammy Guevara, let's get into the figure itself, how I feel about it, and the choice of attire, as of course it's a red attire for the Target exclusives. I think they've been doing that for all of them so far, because this one I think was the first one. Then we've got the Adam Cole. Now we'll have the Samoa Joe coming out. But I do dig this red attire for Sammy Guevara. It's more like a Halloween theme attire, I guess you could say, or just a spider theme attire, as we've got the all-seeing eye in the middle of the trunks with all the spiders and the spider webs. We've got a little spider web on the one knee pad there, a couple of spiders on the other one, and of course some of the same designs laid throughout the attire. Even got some small little spider web details and spiders on the boots and stuff like that. That's a really nice touch. And of course, the only thing I don't really care for, would have been nice if it was like an interchangeable head sculpt, but as the only head sculpt, I really don't like this head sculpt. I know he is very known for sticking his tongue out, but as just the bare bones head sculpt, definitely wish we would have gotten like the jumpsuit screaming head sculpt, or some, just even as like an alternative head scan. But it still looks enough like him. He definitely has a pretty great figure. The hair is really nice. I don't know, I don't really have too many bad things to say except for the head sculpt itself. And I'll be honest, I'm really not the biggest Sammy Guevara guy, but I want him in the collection because I definitely need Inner Circle members, and he was the last one I want to say I needed. And I mean, I'm sure once the Jericho Appreciation Society figures come out, I plan on getting them as well, as I I definitely like that group too and what they do on AEW. But yeah, I think this figure is really good. It's definitely a damn good attire that they chose for sure. And honestly, like looking at the figure for like any like little scuff marks and stuff, of course the back of the legs here definitely aren't the best looking. And he's got like a little scuff mark here on the shoulder and on this side I think as well. Yeah, that's a little scuff mark. But all around so far, this figure is looking really good. There's like a little paint like mark on the shoulder, but that's kind of whatever. Let's break down some of the articulation real quick. He can look up about that high. He can look down really good, honestly. The head sculpt feels a little loose, but you know it's on there. Well, I guess he can move his hips in and out, and of course forward and back down. There's not much on the back because of the buttocks mold. As I was trying to do, he's got the joint in the shoulder. He's got upper arm swivel, double bend in the elbow. He's got wrist bend and wrist swivel. Don't know if I really caught that too well on camera. It's actually pretty well put together. He can look down really well, especially when you bend the legs forward, but the standard ab crunch, not too bad, especially for some of the AEW figures. Of course, we went over the hips already. Of course, he's got that rib articulation, that rib rotation. Got upper thigh cut, which isn't really moving too well. I don't know if a lot of people like point this out, which I know I don't really tend to do, but he's got like the hip swivel. But he's got the upper thigh cut, I promise. It's just not going right now. He's got a double bend in the knee, but the knee pad and the knee itself is definitely a little stiff. Not too bad though. Got kick pad rotation. And of course, the beautiful ankle bend. And doesn't really have too much ankle swivel, but that is fine with me. The ankle bend is good enough. Now, let's just try to see if I can get this. Yep, there we go. Upper leg swivel. I'm happy I didn't like have to break my figure just to do that. I would have been sad. Like, for $14, I guess it wouldn't have been the worst thing, but definitely not trying to break it mid-review like the Cody Rhodes Supreme Edition. But now that we're almost done with the review, I'll just get them all accessoried up and we can get into the final thoughts on the figure, I guess. Alright, now that we've got them all posed up, we've got them all decked out with the double championships. Of course, this one is not the one he was doing this with. That was the Miro version, which we are getting a ringside exclusive of that Sammy Guevara when he got both of the TNT titles, or how, I can't remember exactly how that worked, but I am pretty pleased with this figure. All in all, it's definitely worth the money I paid. I wish we would have gotten the one extra hand and maybe an extra alternative head sculpt, especially because I want to say normally if you were to buy this at the store, it's like maybe $25. I'm not exactly too sure because I haven't bought a Target exclusive at Target yet. This is in fact actually my first one as far as the AEW figures go. So there's that, but I think all in all, everything accessory wise is pretty good. The attire is pretty damn good, especially compared to his first two figures, the jumpsuit figure and the, like, what was it, the series 2 Maybe it was Series 3. I can't exactly remember when the first one released. Not that it was a terrible attire, but it was very plain. This one's got a lot of nice detail in it. And with that, I may not like Sammy Guevara too much. I think his promo work is a little sometimes. Unless it's like with Jericho or something. Because his promo with Jericho I think it was this past episode of Dynamite. If it wasn't this past episode, it was the week prior. Was pretty damn good. His in-ring work is really phenomenal though. As long as he's not like trying to kill himself every week, like when he performs in ladder matches and shish of that nature. But all in all, I think I'm gonna give this figure, I'll give it a good solid, let's give it a good 7.5 out of 10. Just because, as I said, the extra head sculpt would have been nice. The extra hand for the mic holding hands would have been nice. Would have made this pose go down a lot easier, even though I'm not even using it. That's just kind of how well those hands can actually hold the titles. But 7.5 out of 10, I think we'll say it's a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think that sounds pretty fair, pretty even. And with that being said, if you guys like the video. If you guys want to see more content in the future, subscribe. If you don't, I'm not going to tell you you have to. But if you definitely like pick fed videos, go check some of my pick fed work out. I think I do pretty decent. I may not be the best commentator, but at the same time, it's just me doing it by myself. And it's a little tricky when you've never had to commentate over anything, so I'm still trying to get into the habit of having to do that. And it's just a weird process, but hopefully I'll get more used to it and I'll get a little bit better with it. As far as the pick fed goes, if you have watched it already, let me know what episode or what matchup might be your favorite. Tell me your favorite spot. I don't know. Just feel free to leave any comment you have about it in the comment section below. Even if it has nothing to do with this figure. Just because between you and I, aka the recording of this video until it gets released, I don't know if I'll release this video right away, but just know, yeah, this is the first out of 3 figure reviews I plan to do. I'm just still waiting for the third one to get shipped now, but this one might be the last one you see. It all depends on how the next episode of the Pick Fed goes, because who knows, I may have bought this figure purely for Pick Fed purposes. You'll just have to wait and see. But on that note, I think we'll head out finally. Peace out, you guys.